Trump asked Congress for $80 billion to continue war with Iran. Congress took a vote and ordered him to remove all forces from hostilities. Let's get into the nitty gritty of it all because the devil's in the details. Trump asked for $80 billion in the first place because basically that's what it would take to resupply all our forces in the region. However, he asked for this days after he signed essentially a total surrender on the part of the US. So basically, overnight, Trump goes from total surrender to wanting to do $80 billion worth more of war, which is kind of an insane turnaround and kind of suggests to me, at least, that he was never really intending on following through with the MOU. I think he knew that Israel was going to continue to bomb Lebanon, that Iran was going to reclose the strait because of that, giving him an excuse to continue a war that, at least on paper, it looks like he tried to end. However, Congress undisputedly holds the power of the purse. Trump was never going to get that $80 billion so long as Congress saw this war still as Trump's war of choice. So he pulls this stunt. And it's also worth noting that $80 billion is less than the money that we freed up and funneled to Iran to get them to sign the MOU in the first place. Iran has gotten hundreds of billions of dollars funneled to them out of this charade that they could totally use for their continued war effort. Meanwhile, Trump is begging for $80 billion and he's not gonna fucking get it. Art of the deal indeed. Instead of granting him the $80 billion, Congress got together and voted both in the House and the Senate, so this is fully passed, a resolution demanding that Trump remove all troops from hostilities around Iran, making an exception for any forces that are there to defend our allies and our assets. Which is interesting because the letter of the MOU doesn't make exceptions for any forces, so I don't really know what's going on there. Now, Congress passing that, at least under most people's understanding of the Constitution, should be the end of this conflict. But our country is dumb and our system is bad, so it's not that. You see, not only does Congress have the power of the purse, they also have the sole ability to declare war on anybody. The president cannot declare war. He can tell the military to go do war-like things, but if he doesn't bring the military back within a certain period of time, then technically he needs Congress's approval to continue fighting. Under the War Power Resolution Act of 1973, the president must cease all hostilities within 60 days or get approval from Congress to continue the war. Which is interesting because the war has been going on for more than 100 days. Trump basically told Congress that if you want this war to end, you're gonna have to make me. Which any sane interpretation of the law would say that this resolution should do. But it won't for basically the dumbest reason possible. Basically, Congress has just been really bad at declaring war when war is declared. They've also been really bad at asserting their sole authority under the Constitution to declare war when war is declared without them. Because of that, there's basically like a 200-year precedent where the president has just been allowed to do whatever the fuck he wants. So even though this resolution should be the end of things, it won't be, because everyone's going to take a look at that, say to themselves, well, that's not how we usually do things, and say, we're going to keep doing things the other way, and then at most, it's going to be kicked to the courts, and that's going to take a very long fucking time. In the meantime, the war will continue. And that is only if Congress pushes this to the courts. But it doesn't seem like they're even going to, because they themselves are calling this largely a symbolic gesture. That's right. Congress thinks that their own constitutional powers are largely symbolic. That's your checks and balances for you. Now, Congress could still force an end to the war if they pass this as a law and not just a resolution. But the thing about passing a law through Congress is that the president has to sign it in order for it to be law, and the president is who they are trying to order to do something in the first fucking place. So if he doesn't want to do it, it's not going to be law. Unless Congress has a veto-proof majority backing the law, and then they can force it into law regardless of what the president wants. And they don't have that, so that's a dead fucking end, I guess. So we have a president continuing a war that he can't continue without Congress, and Congress ending a war that they can't end without the president. It's all very fucking stupid, and everyone involved should be replaced.